Hello everyone. In this video, I'm going this video basically I'm going to explore and explore some ideas that I have and also uh, want to learn more and teach you. So I don't have any like guideline guidelines. I don't know. So I don't have any guidelines. So I don't really know. I just have like some ideas where I want to part to start the let's say the video. So yeah, let's go with some words. So the idea that I have is that um, so this idea like for example let's just write it. So so this idea is just like have like have or be or anyway anything you want in life, basically this idea like be or have or like basically have anything you want. This idea that yeah, this idea. So let's just start with something. So we can start by defining that mhm, that okay. So this idea is like okay. So um, I know I think it's possible and 100% I think it's possible to have or be or have or be and be anything you want in life. And yeah, basically I'm 100% sure about what I'm saying because uh, uh, because what I see in other person, in other people. So you see like there is people that got the life they want and things like that. So well let's start with this idea. So it's like okay, so let's say anything you want in life. Okay, so anything is like okay, so have anything you want in life. I think the first entry point here is like define what is that you want. What is that you want? What is that you want? What is that you want? You want? I don't know. What is that? Basically, what is that? Anyway, what is that you want? Okay, so I think this is the first like let's say yeah that's like the entry point of this. So recording okay. So define what is that you want in life. Okay. hmm I think this is very related with many other ideas. So I see this in something like that. So for example, you have the concept and things are not for example are not like linear. Like for example in mathematics you have these concepts that builds another concept so it's like a chain. What I think how many literally how almost anything is like you have one idea here and you have another idea and another idea and another thing and this forms this connects creating like no, this creates everything. So basically you can see this, and it can be like one separate. So so appears a new thing like that. So a new thing appears done. And you don't see the how it is related with anything, with everything. Well, then you realize, oh, okay, so it is related, and okay, so this idea is related. So you see, this is this is like, I think, how mind works, because this is like a network. Okay, so it is a network, a neuronal network. I think I'm not a scientist or something like that, so I don't really know too much about it. But what I know, so with the results and the information that I know, um, I can explain and I can learn more. So well, let's start with the concept of, okay. So the first thing is define what you want in life. Okay, or in life. I don't know. So define that. So okay, so define this that you want in life. Okay, so for example, you can start. When I say that, you can have like mental images in your mind. So for example, you can say, okay, so I can say like, okay, so an helicopter, this helicopter, okay. So maybe you can be related with. So let's say, for example, helicopter. Let's say Robinson. For example, this. This is a Robinson helicopter, okay. For example, I can say, okay, so this is what I want in life. Okay, so this is life is like, it's a combination of many other things, and you don't only want one thing, you want many things, and they all are related in some way. So for example, I say, oh, okay, so this is what I want in life. Okay, so I want, for example, so I say, so I can, I can, you can be related with me, but I can just basically, I'm talking with how, with my, with what I have in my mind, you know. So basically, I can say, okay, so what I want in life, okay, so it's a Robinson helicopter. Let's just put, for example, okay, so this helicopter right there. Okay, so there is another helicopter. The right there. Okay, this. Okay, so this is a toy. Um, and we can say, okay, so this is the only thing you want in life. Okay, so I can say no. Okay, maybe I want something like, okay, so I can Rolls Royce Cullinan. Okay, so Rolls Royce Cullinan. I can say, okay, so let's just take for example this. So right there, okay, this. Okay, yeah, this Rolls Royce Cullinan. Okay, so this is, so doing that, we are defining what we want in life, basically. You say, okay, so this is the only thing you want in life. I can say no. I have another thing. For example, this car. Oh, it seems very cool. This, okay. So this, maybe this. Okay, maybe. Um, so you have like things. So this is, so basically what you want in life, there is like conformed by things, experiences, and things like that, and everything is related. So in things, I can be like, and in general in life, you can be like, okay, so this is like one side, so one side, this is another one. So let's say this is like, okay, so you are like 100% sure. Okay, no, 0% and 100%. So many things in life, you are not like, okay, so I'm 100%. Maybe you are, okay, so maybe this is like, so something in the middle. So I am I'm not 100%, but I am sure like okay, so this is maybe like 60%, and maybe with another things you are more let's say more like more secure, more what is the word, like more, I don't know, don't get the word, but let's say secure. You are more, yeah, secure. Don't know what word. So yeah, because of that, you are not totally secure of what you really want in life. Because as you see, you will have you change. So you change and you say, okay, so I want this, but then you realize like, no, I don't want this. I do prefer this, and then you say, no, I don't prefer this. I do prefer this, and this, and this, and this, and this. Um, I think this is a process in which you basically you say like, okay, so I say, okay, I want this in life. Okay, like, okay, see this is a car and things like that, and then maybe you realize, okay, so I wanted this, but now I want something more. I want this, and maybe when you get this, you realize, okay, so I want this and this, and maybe you can be in one point where you say, okay, so I don't like this direction. I prefer more going in another direction, or maybe you get like, okay, so I do like this, but also I do like this, and it's like you are defining what you want in life. And because of that, as you know, we came to this world, let's say, and you don't have like instructions. You don't have a book of instructions where you say, okay, so this is what you have to say. This is what you have to do. This is you. This is you don't have like so basically you are constantly improving and changing, and this is natural. Things are constantly growing and so things are constantly growing, and the other counterpart is like going, and I don't know the word. I don't know the word. Yeah, so this is the first concept that comes to my mind, which is so basically, in order to get what you want in life, you have to define it, right? Uh, Also, because you can think like, okay, this is starting from the idea that I can get what I really want, but you can maybe have another like counterpart, so another side, which is like, okay, so this is a war which is like another destruction, and um, you can have that, so you were born that way, and things like that. So I I don't know, I do prefer like with this, I don't know, with this like in this side, like being more um, positive, let's say, like more mm, more in more positive, really more positive, in that you can have the life of what you want, because I don't know, because you can, I don't know, don't have like, yeah, I don't know. So basically, this is starting from the point that from this idea, like, okay, so you can have it and things like that. Well, so yeah, the first step, let's say, is define. So define what you want, and I think you can be more specific, or more like more ethereal, more like, okay, so I'm I'm specific about this, but I'm not too sure about this other thing, and that's fine. I think that's fine, because You are not. You are. You can. So you can. So yeah, this is nothing bad in that. Okay. Um. So yeah. So let's say, for example, let's take one thing. So for example, let's say, okay. So you define what you want in life. So I can say like, okay. So for example, I come here to Google and I share for this. So I share Rolls Royce Cullinan. Okay, and I get pictures and pictures and pictures of cars. So yeah, this is like, okay, so this is a Rolls Royce. This have the purple window. This also have a purple one. I think it's maybe the same. But this have, okay, so this is black and have these rings, and okay, so this is red. Okay, so you can you can think like, okay, so this seems really I like it. So you can go here and you say, wow, this color is very cool. This one is very cool too. Okay, so you can go here and you say, oh, this interior is pretty amazing. And okay, so this color black, okay, black color very good. And okay, this is white. This and this, as you see, this is black. This is black. Okay, black. This is white. This is like marble thing. And this with this blue interior, and you come, okay, this with that white interior, and this mm, like blue details, and this wood, let's say this wood. um, so yeah, here I can have money, and I can say, look, okay, so I can say something like, so let's say I can go here and I can say, okay, so this car, okay, seems pretty good. I this is it's okay. I can say, oh, this is what I really want. I do want this thing. I do like this thing that. So I do like this thing in my life, and I can say, okay, so yeah, why not? And maybe you can start defining it a little bit more and being your. So you can come here and you can, I'm not too sure about it. Or maybe you can, this is a Rolls Royce, and you can, let's say, for example, you can get this car. So you get this car, which is this red, this red car, and then you are okay. So yeah, I don't like this car, but maybe I do like more this blue. And then you don't need to change the car. You only change the color. So that's like, okay, so I like many colors. And then you are bored with this color, and you say, no, I don't like it. I like more black. And then you are, oh, okay, more black, and you change your car to black color. And then you realize, oh no, I do like this more, and maybe this more, and maybe I no, I do like this more. So this is like a constant thing. This is changing. This is like a process, and it's nothing bad in being like 100% sure about something. No, you can be like, okay, so for example, okay, so I can be really sure, okay, so I want this. And but times pass, and I say, okay, I want a change in life. I want something. I want to change the color. And yeah, you change the color, and you are with this color some time and things like that, and you say, no, I don't want. I want this color. So I do like this color more, and by this time. So things are like, I can say like things are like for temporal like, yeah, we change and we change like that we want. And so maybe you can say, no, if, for example, I can you can have the three ones at the same time. Why not? Right? But you can say, okay, so don't really matter too much. It's not. So it's like, it's something that I will say, okay, but it's not. I don't mind if I don't get it, or something like that. Okay, I see. Okay, recording. So yeah, let's just start. So for example, I think and for me, I say I look at this car and I say, okay, this is what I want in life. Okay, so this is what I want. You see, okay, this is the blue coolant and the interior. Okay, so interior. Okay, I like this interior is very cool. I do like it this interior too much. Yeah, this interior is very cool. Okay, so I do like this interior. So let's say this is what I want in life. Not what I want, but something. So there are some other things, but this one is one of that. So I do want. Okay, so I want this Cullinan with this blue, like I don't know the color, like this blue, this light blue color, and with this interior, like white interior, and with these blue details and this wood material. So yeah, I have defined it. So now what I do? Okay, so I have defined it, and okay, so I say, okay, this is what I want in life. I have defined it. Yeah, right. So what I have to do now? Now, by the way, I don't really know because, like, okay, so I don't know what comes. So I have defined. So now I have defined this. Okay, now so this is defined. I can see it in my mind because I think that this everything. I think everything in the world is created by our minds. Everything bad, everything good, everything is created in our minds, right? So I say, okay, so this is what I want in life. Okay, and for example, I can say, okay, I'm sure, yeah, I'm sure about it. Okay, so now what comes next, right? So what comes next? Well, I think the thing that comes next is get so have this in my life, right? So have this in my life. That's the thing. So I have defined it. I say, oh, I want this car with this interior. I do like so this is our rose cooling and has the red lights. This this have this like black in the bottom. This is white with those details and yeah, I like it. I like it. Like how it is. So I can say now let's have this. Okay, so now that we have defined what we really want, we let's just continue with this. So now that's starting from the beginning. We define what we really want in life. What so for example, I say okay, so this right there. Okay, so basically this is an image, and as you can see, our minds thinks in images. For example, if I say I don't know, blue elephant, mm, a pink panther, right? So you have images. You don't have like, okay, so this is a word, and no, we think in images, and we think in images maybe because it's more, yeah, the words are more. I don't know. I don't really know, but we think in images. Why is that? Mm, uh, really, I don't really know. So that's something that, okay, so I don't know what we think in images. So maybe we can learn more and understand why we think in images. I think that we think in images. Okay, so this is a supposition of mine that maybe because I don't know, or real world is like the major part, the like the like what we consume, what we get is images. Like we have many senses, like we have okay, so we have many senses, and we have of course our ears that we can hear. We have our eyes that we can look, that we can see. we have the touch. So we have many sense. We have the touch. We have like this coordination type of. So I think that we think images because that's where. So that's like that's where we. So that's why. So, right, like this is the images, the pictures, the visual is like the most part of the like the content. Like if you think of life, you think of in images. You don't think in like an abstract definition or words. Or for example, if you were oh, so this is a really one. So if you were born blinded, so if you were born blinded, you can your mind creates images. That's interesting because if that means that we think in images because of any other thing and not only. I'm curious about it. I'm curious about it. I'm gonna no. Let's just look for this. So let's use it like okay. So blinded persons. Um, uh, because I think like blinded person, for example, when they dream or something like that, they just create the songs and well, let's use it. Okay, so so what we can okay, so blinded persons. So blinded person. Um, mind. Let's say mind. For example, blinded person mind. Mind blindness. Mind blindness is a concept of transformative state. Okay, so no. Visualize things. Okay, this thing. Improve about. What does a blind person see in their mind? What this means is that people blind seeing birds probably don't experience detailed visual images of actual objects such as apples or cherries while dreaming. Rather, they probably see exact spots, blobs, colors, like colors. But how they know colors?
Well, you sighted people came up with another dilly, didn't you? This question's been coming up a little bit in the comments lately. What does a blind person imagine when someone refers to an object? Like, do you visualize something in your mind? Being blind since birth, I don't really visualize anything, right? Because I don't know how to see and my subconscious doesn't know how to see. When I think about something, I suppose I think about its properties. I think about what that thing is, or its shape, or its size. But I think about my memory of it. For example, if you were to talk about a baseball, I remember what one feels like. Now, I haven't felt one in a while, but I remember it's got the stitching on it. It's round, it's dense, you can't squeeze it. I remember the approximate size of it. So I imagine what it feels like. That's what I go by. Not a picture like you guys, but it's something. So Ben, why don't you name off a couple of things and I'll describe what I think about when you say these things. I won't see it in my mind, but I can tell you about the things I remember. This is very strange, but I think you'll get it.
Okay, a bottle of soda.
I think about a bottle of soda. I think about the shape of it, like a Coke bottle, for example. I think about the plastic. I think about the cap. I think about the approximate size of it, the label, those things on the bottom, so it doesn't fall down, the 5 things there. And that's what I think about when I think, and that it's cold to the touch, generally, if it's been in the fridge. It's so strange, because I do remember the shape, but I remember the shape in my hands, right? I couldn't imagine a bottle of soda on a table because I'd have to be touching it to know it was there. I see the shape through my hands. I don't see it with my eyes. I have to touch it. So I remember it always from my perspective.
How about a banana?
A banana. Okay. When I think of a banana, I imagine touching one. So I'm imagining the sort of cylindrical object with a bit of a bend to it and that skin. And it's in a bunch. It's attached to the object with a bit of a bend to it and that skin. And, it's in a bunch. It's attached to the others up at the top. And that's what I think of with a banana. And maybe if it's been sitting around for a little bit, it's starting to smell more like a banana. When it comes to the color of banana, I don't really think about that part. I'm not quite sure. I think a banana's yellow. I wouldn't think of the color because I don't see the color, and the color doesn't mean anything to me. I'm more interested in the shape and the size of it, and the texture.
How about a car?
See, a car is more difficult for me to imagine because I can't hold it in my hand, right? Like a big station wagon or an SUV or something like that. But I think of the parts, right? So I think of the door of where I'm going to get in. I think about the seats inside. Maybe over on the driver's side, I think about the steering wheel and all that kind of stuff that's over there. But, I'm and the pedals on the floor. But I can't think of it as a whole. When I drew the car in a past video, I had to think about all the different pieces of the car, right? The different parts of it and how I could put it together on a piece of paper for you to look at. But when I think of a car, I just think about one part at a time. I mean, again, I can't imagine an entire car because I've never touched an entire car all at once.
When somebody says an iPhone, what pops in your mind?
Immediately, I think of the shape. Well, first off, I think of my own iPhone, okay? I have a 6. So I think about the shape of it, the rectangle. I think about the thickness of it, the texture of it. And then I imagine the buttons on the side and the home key at the bottom. And that's, boom, what's in my mind when you say iPhone. I only think of the one that I know the best. It's so strange. I mean, of course I imagine it, but I just don't do it in the way that you do. When I say imagine, I'm talking about, what I feel and what I remember, right? Because it's all from memory. But when you say visualize, I can't do that. Because to visualize means to look at it and to see a picture of it, and I don't. To visualize something for me is to remember what it feels like. And maybe even what it smells like. You know what I mean? It's fascinating that people can visualize things in their mind. But with time, it must change. For example, for me, like my mom's been gone for an awfully long time now. And I remember her voice, but I'm sure it's not even close. I haven't heard a recording of it in years. So it's changed through time. And I would imagine that's what happens to your memories too, your visual ones, of something that you can only see once or something that you haven't seen for years. I can't imagine that you'd be able to keep an image of it that perfect in your mind. It would have to change over time. And that's like what sound does to me and what, shapes do to me too, I guess. Memorizing shapes is a strange kind of thing, I suppose. When I was a kid, for example, geometry was done in raised line drawings. That's how they did it back in the day, right? And so it would just be raised lines of a rectangle or of a triangle or of an isosceles triangle or of an angle, an obtuse or a acute angle or a square or a parallelogram, whatever it is. But I remember those shapes in raised line drawings. But at the same time, I can remember solid versions of those shapes, like from building blocks or that kind of stuff that you'd have as a kid, right? Or Lego pieces, because they're different. There's square and rectangle Lego pieces and triangle ones and stuff. So that's what I remember for shapes, and that's how I was taught them. I think the moral of the story is this: the most important key here is our memories. I think that's what it is. I think that's what we base everything on. I remember things just from my memory of them. I can only imagine what I've ever experienced in my life. Right? I can't imagine something I've never touched. I can wonder about it, but I can't imagine it.
Okay, entonces, so it says, can a blind person imagine? Original answer. It's impossible to imagine something without saying something in your mind. Right, but okay, so that's something. We just have look, and we just have learned that. I haven't even questioned that. No, but no, I get the idea. Like, if you were born blinded, right? If you were born blinded, all you see is like, I don't know, in black, maybe in black. So you see like black, and you use hear things, and you touch, and you smell, and things like that. But you don't even realize, you don't even see the color or what he says. That you can't even imagine the whole thing, right? So he just trying to, for example, a table. So a table is like, so you just imagine. So I think the blind person also think in images, right? But not in images, but in like the memories of those things. Like for example, a table, they will imagine something that they have touched. So they have touched how maybe it could be. But I think this is strange. This is strange. But I don't know. This is strange. It's strange. Really is strange. Mm. So now what we have doing with this is like, okay, so every person I think thinks in like memories. That's right. We think in memories. I think that's what it is. We think in what we have, what the information we got, right? So for example, me, for example, me, I haven't seen a Rolls Royce in my life. You know, when I go to the street, when I go outside, when I go, you know, when I let's say in the life, like for example in you know outside. When I go outside, I haven't even see a Rolls Royce in my entire life. I haven't. I haven't seen particularly this, for example, this Rolls Royce. The Rolls Royce with the blue, light blue exterior, white seats, those details, and I haven't seen. I haven't in my entire life. I haven't seen. But through videos, through images, I am capable of imagining. I'm capable of seeing like, okay, so I can imagine this, and I can imagine, for example, me driving this car. I can imagine this like, okay, so driving this car, how will like how the worlds open, you know, like I can create a vivid video. I can create a video in my mind, even if I haven't seen one car of that, like one Rolls Royce in my entire life. So that's something that we think in our memories. We think based on what we remember. So now that we have think about it, we have think about this thing, and that is something really interesting, right? I haven't even like took the time to think about this thing, but you know this is strange, and now you get the idea. Like, okay, so blinded person thinks in like the past memories, what they have experienced, and we also do that way. I can even imagine a Rolls Royce if I, you know, if internet wasn't a thing, if I wasn't able to to look, or I don't know, if I don't have access, if I wouldn't have access to internet and maybe to books or something like that, if I well I didn't have that information, I didn't even know that, okay, exists there is a car that is called Rolls Royce Cullinan, and it's made by a luxury brand called Rolls Royce, which has a long trajectory from years ago, maybe even. So we that's interesting. That's interesting. Mm. Now we thinking about it, we have said like, okay, we think in what we have in what we have experienced, right? So we always think in what we have experienced, and just like that, I think that's because that's the information we got. That's the information we have. Okay, so particularly this thing is like this is like I don't know. I'm just thinking about it, and of course, as you can tell, I'm not English person, but I can speak in English, and I don't have to translate, or I don't have to. I just can talk, and I'm not too fluently, but I can talk and I can say things. But there is some things like I can say. I don't have the words. I don't have the the, mm, the experience. I don't have the memory for say those things. Right? So I say the things only with the information that I have, that I got, right? So if, yeah, you get the point. Um, so now, with that being said, let's just continue with this. Okay, so basically this, what I'm doing this all about this video is like just in order to for example, let's say, so I want this car. Okay, so I want this Rolls Royce Cullinan with this light blue exterior, this white interior with those details in blue and wood, and yeah. So let's say, so I want this thing in my life. So I don't want I want so maybe you can tell, okay, so you want this thing in your life, okay. So but in with particular, like in with particular scenario, for example, if you look, when you see in your mind, you don't see the like the car, but you see like, okay, so this is the car, but also what I'm visualizing, what I'm thinking about is, okay, so I own this car and now I can drive it, right? So I can drive the car, I can go anywhere with the car, and I can, like put in the gas, I can, open the windows, I can just sit and drive, I can bring my friends in, I can bring my family, anyway, those things. So that's key, because of course we think we were basically, by doing this, we are basically defining, we are like bringing this, that I haven't even seen a Rolls Royce in my entire life, but through internet and images and things like that, I can imagine it, and basically you are like bringing it to life, you are reviving, you are creating it. So we are like, yeah, we are like bringing it. So with that is, I'm thinking about another concept, which is I think is like, referencing, like similar, or let's say, don't know the word, but this is something like, okay, so for example, let's say this is what you have experienced, right? So let's say, for example, this is what you have experienced, okay. So this line represents what you have experienced, and what you have experienced is that, okay, so for example, let's say, okay, so what I have experienced. Okay, let's say, so for example, I say, okay, so I don't have a car, right? So I don't have a car, and that's what I experiencing. That's that I don't have a car. Okay, so basically, I look in my world. Okay, so I look outside with my eyes, and and I see, okay, so I don't have this car. That's just real. I don't have this car, right? Okay, but now if you think about it, it's like, okay, but you don't have the car. Okay, good, but you can just like, let's say, like jump, like jump, or, like jump another one, and say, okay, so now I have a car. I have, okay, so I have it done. I think in both cases you are right. In both cases you are right. You can say I don't have a car, and you are right. And in the other part you can say I have a car, and you also are right. So if you think about it, you say, okay, I don't have a car, and you continually what you will be experiencing this thing. This is not, okay. This is not. This is what you will experience, right? So I don't have a car. I don't have a car. But if you say, okay, so I have a car, and what you will want, and what you experience is that you have a car, and this is like a little bit confusing, I think, but I think it is absolutely right. In both cases, For example, let's say this, for example, and I also think that way, this like we started from from images. So we started defining what we want. Okay, so I have one this card, blah 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 blah, anything. Okay, so now we have defined it, and now that we have defined it, I think that we have to do it is have this card. Okay, so have this thing, like have create it, like have it. No, so I for example think in like the words you say have very very much impact in your life basically. For example, let's say that so one person can say, okay, so so for example, one person say, okay, so I'm building a business, I'm building a business, so I can buy my car. So one person can say this, okay, so basically I'm building a business so I can buy my car. And when you think about it, you saying those words, what you are experiencing is this thing that you are saying. Okay, so basically you are building a business so you can buy your car, right? So you are like, but I think this more is like, so this is what you will experience. This is what you experience, that you are building your business. You are building your business, and you will get resource and information and people. Anyway, you will get resource that reaffirm that says, okay, so that's right, you are building a business, so you can buy your car. But now, if you think, I for example can change, I can switch and go to another side, and I can say, okay, so I do have a car, right? So I do have a car, right? And you saying this, you're like, okay, so I do have a car, and so what I do? And I think that this is like, okay, but you don't have to do anything. Why do you have to do anything? Why you why you even will do to have anything if you already have this thing? So this is I don't know, I maybe I could be wrong, but I think I'm right. Okay, so I'm right because of this. Because you say, oh, I'm building a business so I can buy my car, or I'm building a business, I'm creating a company, things like that. You experience that. You experience that you are building your business. Okay, so you're building your business, and you get person that help you to grow your business, to build it, and things like that. But in the other side, you say, I do have this thing. You say, I do have a car. You experience that you have a car, and it's like, okay, so I experience this, but at the same time I experience like, okay, so I don't have this thing. This is interesting, but I think, as I said before, there is like, okay, so there is like two lines I don't have, and you can align with what you want. If you have a car, you are aligned with having a car. If you don't have, you are right. You are also right, and you experience that. You experience that. Okay, I don't have a car. 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 I don't have a. So what do you speak? What you expect? That you don't have a car. But if you do have a car, you have it. So you have a car, right? You have a car. Oh, okay, but not any car, of course. I have my car. I have this car, which is a Rolls Royce Cullinan, white interior, light blue exterior, nothing like that. Okay, basically that's something, and I think this topic, these whole concepts, these whole ideas and thinking, I am basically I think I can do many videos because I am also learning, and I also is bringing and like learning. Basically, I'm also learning, and I'm not. I know I maybe I can be right. Maybe I can be wrong. and that's fine. That's fine because if I'm wrong, I can be right. Okay, and things are not, things change. Things change anyway. So I think in this idea, and I think that I am right. I think that if you think that you have this thing, you have this thing, and you don't have to do anything. You don't have to provoke. You don't have to make things like, okay, so I have this car, and it's okay. I have to make this money. I have to. No, you don't. You don't have to do it because you have a car. You have a car. If you have a car, okay. So now let's just stop for a moment, and I say I have a car. For example, I have a computer, right? Where I'm just talking to you and making this video and things like that. Okay. So I have this computer that you are not looking at, but I am looking. No, I'm looking at. So I have this computer. Okay, so I have this computer. I do have. What you want me to say? That I don't have. I do have. I have this computer. So like that. So now that I have this computer, I can make this video. I can upload a video. I can edit it. I can share it. I can see YouTube videos. I can watch Twitch streaming. I can go to Instagram. I can go to Google and get images. I can search for things. So that's the whole point, right? So I have this thing and I can do the things that I do like. So if you say so, I'm totally agree that I'm right with this idea that if you say I do and if you say I don't, you are totally right in both case. But you have to choose what is that is important for you. That is like more, I don't know, like more that brings that to life. And I think there is the right, and I do have a car is the right for me. So now that with that being said, what we can say more, what I have to say, what I have to say in order for what I have to say. I don't know. I think I don't have to say anything more, right? So we have just say that you define what you really want in life. So you define it, and you have it. You speak like you have it. So you experience right now that you have this thing because you choose to have this thing. And by doing that, you will know things like, okay, so I have this car, right? Okay, so very good. But also like you don't only like, so you don't only want one thing in life. For example, a car. No, you have many other things like, okay, so this thing. So one, two, three, four, five, many things, not just one. So you can, I think you can create this whole system and you can realize that, okay, I have this thing, blah blah blah. Anyway, but then you realize, okay, so I have this thing, but also I do like, for example, to make videos. I do like to teach people. I do like to create business. I do like to make this and to make and do that, and because that's also something that you want in life. You want, you don't want to be like doing nothing, right? You like to do things, and that's because you're life. Okay, so that's pretty cool. Um, so now I'm going to finish this video. I'm going to finish this video, and we have this video is a very long one, and I'm going to finish this video, and maybe I think like I would like to make more videos like explaining, and as you see, for example, I haven't even realized, okay, so blind person, how a blind person visualize, how a blind person, what is that a blind person sees in his mind. So now we realize, okay, so a blind person, what he visualizes in his mind is basically sounds, textures, smells, like how things smell and how it feels, and things like that. So now that's basically for this video, and hope you enjoyed. Of course, this video is a very long one, and I also think maybe, well, I think what I'm doing is like I'm recording these videos, and these videos is like very, it can be very boring to other, to maybe for one person or for many person. It can, this video can be interesting and entertaining, and can can bring them something. But I think what will this is all is that these videos have to be more concise, have to be more precise, and have to be more edited, so many other person can see it and can, because if you go to YouTube and you search for a video and something like that, in the first minute you say no, I don't like this video, and maybe in the end of the video, or in the middle of the video, something special or something interesting happen, but you are not engaged with the video. So anyway, that's basically it. So hope you enjoyed, and things like that.